Hello. Welcome to the Socially Sound podcast with myself, Sarah.
I'm Kirsty.
Okay, so someone sent in a topic that they want us to discuss. They said, why is it sometimes hard to fit into the deaf community as someone who grew up little d deaf? I feel like it's bizarre that someone can be isolated from the hearing world, but also the deaf world. Okay, wait. First of all, the little d and the big D, get rid of that.
Yeah,
Remove that from your mind right now. Because that frame of thinking was actually created by a hearing person. And his name was James Woodward. He just wanted to categorize us into the little d being for oral deafies and the big D being for those that are full sign language users who grew up culturally deaf, who were generationally deaf, and so much more. This then created a divide in the community. It created deaf elitism and other things. So now a lot of oral deaf people find it hard to access the deaf community because they feel like, oh, I didn't grow up in the deaf community, therefore blah, 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 blah. Big D, little d, forget about it. That doesn't exist to us anymore. We are actually trying to move from that ideology because deafness is a spectrum. No deaf person is the same. We have different backgrounds, different upbringing, different experiences. So you can't necessarily categorize us based on how we were raised, based on how we communicate. It doesn't make sense. So little d, big D, first of all, remove that. Second of all, I have a feeling that you might be oral, but I might be wrong. Maybe you're late deafened, or maybe you're hard of hearing, or something like that. But I can say that I feel like we have similar experiences. A lot of people have the same experience of feeling isolated from the deaf world as well as the hearing world because you are in the middle. You're right in between those two worlds. You have the ability to speak, masking yourself, making yourself seem hearing. But when you get into the deaf community, you can already feel that difference between yourself and the people you encounter in terms of experiences and upbringing. So it's hard, it is hard. But the way that I deal with this is just to surround myself with people who are very open-minded, who aren't bothered about the difference in upbringing and experiences. Some sign, some speak. Like take us for example. Sometimes I speak with her, sometimes I sign with her, or I do both. Because we're open-minded, we both accepted that we have different communication methods. We essentially accommodate each other. So it depends who you're trying to connect with. Some can be quite difficult because some have grown up with the little d and big D ideology. Therefore, I'm big D, you're little d, so we can't, connect. But others have not grown up with that ideology or do not care. So
yeah, I feel like with the capital D, little d, if you actually come across people that actually believe in that, it's either you can pick if you want to challenge them or if you just want to leave it and go and be with deaf people who are more open-minded, have similar views to you, similar backgrounds. Because for me, before, I used to challenge them a lot, and then over time I realised it's not worth it, it's not worth my time, my energy is becoming drained. Yeah, it's not worth it.
it's not worth it. It's not worth it at all. Even now, you do have people who are still struggling with, the little d, big D ideology. There are still all deaf people who are struggling with fitting in with the deaf community. But the deaf community is vast and it's diverse. How can you say that you don't fit in with a community that doesn't actually have a set way of living as a deaf person? There isn't a right or wrong way of being deaf. So
Community is the key word here. Community is a group of people who share some similar understandings of being deaf. There's other identities as well, but deaf community means a diverse community, but yet we still focus on one group of people. they don't control the community. No.
Exactly. And obviously, in the hearing world, you grow up learning how to conform to hearing people, how to mask your listening fatigue, how to mask your frustrations, mask your struggles, and to just speak and vomit. But the deaf community is supposed to be a safe space for you to just be free to express yourself the way you want to and be who you want to be. The hearing world is very much inaccessible. I have to be this way when I meet this person or when I meet that person. No. In the deaf community, you can be whoever you want to be.
Yes. That's something I've learned since I first came into the community. Like, okay, you have these categories. Maybe just create your own space within the community where you feel comfortable. I have my own group of friends, people that I can talk to. That's how I navigate the community. I don't try to fit to everyone's expectations.
Adapt or change myself.
Community is about feeling
accepted. Feeling accepted. Feeling like you're with your people. Find your people. That's my advice. Find your people. We're out here. Online, offline, in clubs, sports, in the creative arts.
Everywhere.
Whatever your passion is, enter that space and find your people there. Yeah. You attract what you are. So if you're embracing your deaf identity and you're like, okay, this is who I am, this is how I communicate, then people like you will come to you naturally. Yes, it's a hard process and it won't always be easy. You might meet someone and you might not necessarily match with them, but don't change yourself. Don't adapt yourself because you will burn yourself out. You can be like, I like you, but we're not a good fit, and move on. That is the process of making friends anyways in any space. This experience is not solely just for the deaf community.
Yes.
So how you are raised shouldn't affect the friends you create. No. But I agree, it is hard to access the deaf community, but I think anyone can say that, regardless of whether they're oral or, BSL users, regardless. And as a whole, the deaf community for many, many years have struggled to, fit in with the hearing world. So why not make the deaf world a beautiful space for people to coexist in? Because for me personally, I essentially straddle the fence because I can speak fine, but that's tiring most of the time. So I prefer to sign. But however, the way I see it is, I have the ability to flow between both worlds. I can choose which world I want to be a part of. I don't see it as, oh, I'm stuck in the middle. No, actually, I have the combination of both worlds and I have two identities. I can pick between those identities. It's not a matter of, oh, I feel like I'm half in, half out. No. Yes, I may be half, but I'm whole at the same time. So try to change your perspective. Change your thinking. If you're thinking negatively about yourself, then everything will feel negative. But if you just tweak that and think positively and think, okay, I can speak, but I can sign. Yes, I grew up in a hearing environment. But what coping skill did I gain from that?
Yes.
That I can then apply to the deaf world or just life in general?
Yeah.
So, some food for thought there.
Yeah. Also, I do agree with the fact, like, it's so bizarre that you go into a community and you're like, hey, I'm deaf, and then you're kind of like rejected. No, just stay and try and find people that you fit with. Sometimes it will be hard, but you will get there eventually. You will find the right people. Yeah.
Just remember you're beautiful the way you are, okay? People will accept you regardless of who you are. Just keep trying. keep going. Yeah. Yeah. Sometimes the most beautiful things are the hardest to get. So.
That's true. That's true. Yeah. Yeah. I feel like that's it really. Maybe other people have experienced similar things and they can comment below in this video and give some tips or quotes or whatever you feel would help this person. Yeah.
Someone would definitely recommend places you can go to. It just depends where you're based. So like London, someone can tell you go to this club or go here. People have set up book clubs or online communities. So like Twitter, Facebook. You just have to find them. It just depends where you are, to be honest. But also, there's always people, go ahead.
But also I think to be involved in the community, I think authenticity is important. For me, in the beginning of my journey navigating the community, I wasn't really as authentic as I'd like to be. I kept changing myself. So if you're authentic, you'll find the right people. That's one more thing.
Authentic, yes. Yeah.
That's it.
Hope that helps.
Yeah.
And remember, your feelings are very valid, okay?
Yes.
Don't feel like you should feel bad about them. No, how you feel is okay. A lot of people can relate to it. I can relate to it. Kirsty can relate to it. So how you feel at the moment is fine. And it will get easier.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing this with us.
Thank you for watching.
Bye-bye.
Bye.